Good morning, y'all. De la Tienne, Michelle. Gonna bring you along on making some vegetable beef stew in the Instant Pot that I got recently. I gotta go down to my mom's today and do some grocery shopping for her, and she's not the best about eating well. So when I do go down there, she's about an hour, maybe a little more away from me down in Mississippi. I try to take things that'll be simple for her to heat up, whether she can do it in the microwave or on the stovetop real quick. And I thought this would be a really good meal for her, especially since it's been cold and rain's coming in tonight. So in this bowl right here, I have got about a 1/3 cup of flour, half a teaspoon of black pepper, about half a teaspoon of Himalayan pink salt ground up, and probably about half a teaspoon, maybe a little more, of some lemon thyme that came from my garden. I have cut up my stew meat. I've cut it up into even smaller pieces since Mom does have some dental issues, and I just figured it would be easier for her to eat. In my Instant Pot, I've got a couple of tablespoons of bacon fat over here. And I'm just going to kind of dredge the meat in this flour mixture, and then as I've got turn the saute button on the Instant Pot, we're going to brown some of it up in there. Can't talk this morning. I haven't been up very long, so we're just going to kind of do this with the meat. I don't want to crowd the meat in there, so I'll have to do this in small batches. And the last time I did any sauteing in the Instant Pot, it was splattering pretty good, so I don't know about moving the camera too close to it. I'm worried about it splattering up on the lens. So let me get all this dredged, and when I start sauteing, I'll see how we're doing so you can see what I'm doing with it, and then we'll bring you back. Okay, got my first little bit of beef in there. I am being careful not to crowd it in here, but I'm just going to brown this up, and then I will do, like I said, I'm doing it in small batches, so I don't want to cook it all the way through. Just get a nice good browning on there, and here this thing gets pretty hot when it comes to doing the saute. Let me see if I can get you a little closer in there, because yeah, it will get to splattering. At least it did when I did a pot roast in here a couple of weeks ago. So, okay, that's where we're at now, browning the beef in the Instant Pot so we can keep all this in one container and not have to dirty up a ton of other stuff. So we'll be back when we have all the beef browned up. Okay guys, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of garlic in here, and saute this around, minced garlic, and saute it up a little bit. Doesn't take much because that is hot. And then I'm going to take some of my beef broth that I have mixed up and start deglazing the pan a little bit here, because that flour did tend to cook on there. So let's just kind of scrape some of that loose. And I'm hoping y'all can, yeah, you can kind of see down in there. Maybe a little closer. And that's coming right off, which is good. Okay, let me finish this, and we'll be back for the next step. I have added another teaspoon of garlic in here, and this is starting to bubble. So I'm actually going to hit the cancel button on the Instant Pot and cut this off while we start putting the rest of the items in here. I had already pre-mixed up, and I think you might be steaming up. I'd already pre-mixed up 4 cups of beef broth. If you have home canned beef broth, use it. I just used the Better Than Bouillon. I can't tell if you see that. There, no, there. Better Than Bouillon. And we're going to add this in here, a little bit of it right now. And we're going to put our meat back in here. Trying not to splatter everywhere. To this, I'm going to add up some cut up potatoes. That was probably about 4 small to medium potatoes. Okay. Stir that around a little bit. Let's see, let's add the rest of our better than bouillon broth. Somewhere, there it is. I've got a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. We're gonna put that in there. If you didn't have tomato paste, you could probably use a can of tomato soup. You could probably reduce your liquid a little bit and use V8 juice if you have that on hand. If you want to make it spicy, use the spicy V8 juice. That spoon's not wanting to work in getting that out of there. Where do I have a spoon? Here we go. Try not to dirty up another one too much. Get in there. Okay. There's our tomato paste. Let's see. Maybe a little closer and point you down so you can see. I'm sorry. Hard to keep everything in focus and follow what you're doing. Alright, I'm going to add to this. We don't like a lot of celery, so I'm just going to add a handful of dehydrated celery in there. I'm going to, let's see, let's add, these are kind of small. That was a small bay leaf, so let's do 2 bay leaves. Measuring spoons, I have them somewhere. I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of Worcestershire. And, okay, I cannot put a top on one-handed. Do this. I'm also going to add about a tablespoon and a smidge more of, this was red wine vinegar. Now, I'm just kind of doing this by the seat of my pants. I'm just putting things in here I know we like. As you know, no onions I would like to eat. I'm thinking about sneaking some onions in there. I've already got a little onion powder. I forgot to say I had some onion powder in the flour mixture too, about a teaspoon of that. So, okay, here we go. We are ready. Now, I looked over several recipes for how to make beef stew in the Instant Pot. You can use all fresh vegetables. You can use frozen vegetables. Now, some recipes on the frozen vegetables, it was saying to cook all this portion or your raw vegetables and beef first, and then add the frozen vegetables after it was done with the initial cook time, and just keep it on warm and let it warm up. I don't want to do that. I want to put it all in here at once, and there was other recipes that had it all added at once. So let me get my frozen vegetables. I just have a small bag of mixed carrots, green beans, corns, and peas. And I think this is the steamable type. So I'm going to just kind of wing this. You know what? I'm going to put the whole bag in there. Okay. There we go. Other recipes called for adding another bit of the better than bouillon. I'm gonna say we might need a little more water to this, and to thicken it up when it's done, I may Yeah, I'm going to add a little more water. Where's my measuring cup? About another cup worth. That looks pretty good. Okay, you know, everything's covered with water. So, let's see, I'm going to make sure I got everything. And actually, I'm going to give this a little bit of a taste and see that I'm okay with the flavor of it, even though it's not heated. I don't really want the garlic this hour in the morning. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. So, let's put our lid on. There we go. We're going to make sure that the seal is closed back here on the lid. And I'm going to bring you down here so you can see what I'm doing. There is a button here called Meat and Stew. We're going to press that. The keep warm button's on, which I want it on. So we're going to let this go to 35 minutes. And when it's done with the 35 minutes, we're going to let it sit for at least 10 minutes to come down on pressure naturally before we do a quick release on it. So we'll bring you back when we get to that part if I don't miss it, because I have a feeling I'm going to be tearing around getting busy. So I probably will. So anyway, I'll bring you back when I can. Well, as you can see from the time on here, we're on the low 51 minutes here. Keep warm. I got busy with other things and didn't get back to this in time. So, so I can get a better camera angle, I've got to move this out of my laundry room because I had to put it in here to keep the dog from breaking into it. So let me get this unplugged and moved, and we'll bring you back. Okay, got this off. I'm gonna take the steam. Well, do it that way, which it's fully vented out now because no steam came out of there. So we are safe to open, and this smells good. And I do want to point out, open that away, that this stew could have been made on slow cooker. This would have been a great Whip It Up Wednesday recipe, but I just did not want to wait around that long before I took off to drive to my mom's. Now, let me find a... I'm going to check this with a ladle. Okay. This is more of the consistency of a, put you down, a soup for me. It's a little thick, and somewhere in here I've got to find the bay leaves. But it smells really good. There's one bay leaf. Get that out of there. And there's another one in here somewhere. There we go. Here it is. But yeah, can y'all see that? Oh yeah. Let's get a fork out and check the potatoes and see if they're good and tender. And they are. Let's see. Oh, the meat's just, yeah, falling apart. Yeah, meat's good and tender, falling apart, just crumbly there, and that's exactly what I wanted. So, this is good to go. I'm gonna put a couple of pints together for my mom and let them cool off a little bit. And this will also be our dinner tonight. Now, if you wanted to thicken this up, you could take a couple of tablespoons of cornstarch and water and put it in here and mix it up. Just do a little slurry, and that would help thicken this up a good bit. But I'm happy with the consistency of that. And even though I just brushed my teeth, I really want to taste this and see how it is while I've got you on camera. So get a little spoonful here. Hot, still hot. It's got a good flavor, got a tangy flavor. The red wine vinegar gives it a nice tang. So I'm happy with that. There you go, folks. Quick, maybe an hour total, really, not counting your prep time on the food for beef stew. I just wanted to bring you back real quick to show you what this looks like in the jars. I am not canning these are just jars that for traveling purposes. I have found this is the easiest way to take food to my mom, because she'll eat on probably this one tonight and tomorrow, and this other one she can put in the freezer and eat it at her leisure. So anyway, if you have any questions, please leave them below or send me a message or an email, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Please like, subscribe. I appreciate you watching, and thank you so much. Happy cooking.